Welcome to Woodshop 101. This is episode 107 for November 20th, 2017. Tonight we're going to talk about tree stump furniture and joiner planer cutter heads. I'm Jeremy Crawford of the Countryside Workshop, and I'm joined tonight by my co-host Sam Wooddell of Samurai Designs, Drew Short of Rock-n H Woodshop, and our special guest host Jeremy from Jericho Home. What is going on?
Hey guys.
Hey y'all, thanks for having me.
So exciting.
Well, we're glad you got to see us.
Yep.
Glad to be seen.
Sam, you can go now. We're going to continue the conversation without Alabama fans.
Okay, whatever. Stop hating. We're better than you. That's the only reason why you probably
That's
are
probably
bitter.
why. Look, that's the Alabama fan right there. Think they're better than everybody right there.
Yeah.
Roll Tide. Roll Tide.
Wow.
Don't fire me. Don't fire me. Don't fire me.
That is getting bleeped out.
No, it's not. If you bleep it out, I'll be so mad at you. And I'll quit instead of fire. There you go. Do not bleep it out.
The gauntlet.
Don't face off our guest host.
You won't know what to do with your time if you quit.
I know, seriously. Will not know. But we would love to thank our supporters, our patrons, Michael Brindle, Devin Richter, Sean McHenry, Derik Ledesma, Carl Mose, and Neil Sims. Thank you guys so much. We really appreciate it. And if you would like to support the show, you can head over to woodshop101podcast.com/listen. Find the show notes for today's episode, and there will be links for small one-time donations and reoccurring donations. If you want to become a patron to our Patreon campaign, then head over to patreon.com/woodshop101. You can buy a Woodshop 101 podcast t-shirt, a hoodie, which just came out, or some Rev Marker packs. Head over to countrysideworkshop.com/shop for the link. So I definitely need to order my hoodie.
Yeah. So Sam, you want to tell them about these hoodies? What colors
Yes,
we got?
they're really cool. We got charcoal and a light heather gray. So definitely go check them out. They're neutral. So
I'd go with charcoal.
yes, me too.
And they're the same fabric as our t-shirts. They're that dry blend 50-50. So it'll be sweat wicking or moisture wicking. That way you can wear it in the shop and not get all extremely hot and nasty and sweaty.
I will be wearing mine in the shop. So,
But don't use it near a table saw. You'll get called out with them long sleeves.
I know.
Yeah.
But if you wear your eye protection, it'll be all better, Sam.
Gotta wear those goggles.
If anyone watches my other videos other than that one drum sanding video, you will notice I have my big ski glasses or ski goggles on. But I was
going to say, you usually do have quite extensive eye protection on. Yeah.
I know, they're huge.
I'm usually just wearing my glasses when I'm just there's my eye protection. You know.
That's my grandpa. That's how my grandpa
That's the Norm Abram eyewear there.
That's what I do.
With it, yeah.
And I'm always telling my grandpa, you should put on my second pair. And he's like, no, I have them right here. I'm fine. I'm like, all right, whatever.
I mean, let's be real. What's safer? To wear goggles and not be able to actually see what you're doing, or to wear your
I can see what I'm doing.
I'm talking about your granddad.
I'm talking about me.
Oh.
That's me too. See?
Yeah, no, for real. I mean, this is
it's safer. I can see what I'm doing.
Yep, I'm farsighted, so I can see really good far away, but I can't run the table saw real far away, so it's glasses time. So
yes, for sure. I agree with that. You should definitely wear.
And I'm weird. I have one eye that can see far and one eye that can see near. So,
oh wow. Yeah.
That is weird.
Wow, that's
And that's really only happened in the last year or year and a half, and it has really messed with me because I used to be able to just power through it and see, and now I'm man, I can't see up close or far away. Close my eyes and I can do it.
Just get you a glasses/goggle hybrid.
Yeah, that's super focals. You're gonna have to get that's an amazing pair of glasses there.
Yeah.
I have an astigmatism in one eye, so one of my glasses lens has a prism carved into it. They say I can't see it, But so it's supposed to correct that, while the other one I just can't see up close. So I have to hold everything really far away and look like the old guy. I'm like, yeah, hold on. So I have to.
We used to make fun of my dad. We would throw the item on the floor and then read it.
Yeah.
What is it that?
That's like my grandpa too.
Astigmatism?
It's got a little prism apparently in this lens. It has a prism built into it, and it's supposed to correct the astigmatism in my right eye. So, but
I got astigmatism in both my eyes. I didn't know nothing about no prism. I just figured they worked.
Yeah, that's what's going on there. So it's like I said, I don't need them to drive or anything. My distance vision's awesome apparently, but it's just up close. I get real bad headaches and stuff. So if I'm trying to make a really good cut or get in, I've got to have them on. So
you have to have them on.
Yep.
Yeah. See, so that's a little bit safer than wearing
the goggles.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
And if like safety eyewear prescription wise was cheaper, more affordable, then I would do that. But I'm not spending $200 on some safety glasses to have to change them out next year. So. All right, well, let's get into what's going on in the shop. Drew, you want to go first?
Sure. Basically, the cleanup of the shop is done since I installed my flooring and my shop was a wreck. And now my wife has made me bring down all kinds of decorations from the attic. So now I got all kinds of tubs everywhere just under the attic door. No, Halloween. Not even Christmas. It was just Halloween decorations.
That's right.
But now I've got to get Christmas decorations down so we can put the Halloween decorations up. So there's going to be even more tubs down in the shop because I've got twice as many Christmas decorations as I do Halloween. So
yeah.
So once I get all that cleaned back up, I will be starting on my first contract, which is with the the orthopedic clinic that I work for. So I got to make 5 stand boxes for patients to stand up on so we can shoot their ankles and feet and stuff like that in X-ray. So I'll have to reinforce them to make sure that they'll hold about 450 pounds. And then after that, I've got a couple barn doors to make. I've got some toy boxes that I've got to submit a contract for to make. I mean, the shop responsibilities are starting to fill up. So yeah. I'm happy because I'm starting to feel like Sam now. I'm like, I'm so backed up now.
Yeah, that's a good problem to have. Yeah.
I know.
I'm backed up till Christmas too, so I've got a lot of Christmas orders coming in. So
I know it's a good feeling. That's for sure.
It's a good problem to have. Yeah, absolutely. So.
What about you, Sam? What do you got going on?
Since that fiasco with my client, I saved my butt and I changed my contract around. So it's like cover every little possible thing that could go wrong. And then we started on the navy blue console. It's so tall. We started ripping out the pieces and I forgot how tall it's going to be. It's like 48, almost 49 inches tall and 96 inches wide. So it's going to be huge. It's going to be made into 3 pieces. And then we're also side working on a behind the sofa table and then another behind the sofa curved table for an L-shaped couch that will include laminate, which I've never done before. So we're in the process of buying the bendable plywood. So it will be fun because I've never done anything like that before. So it will be different and I will get to learn new techniques and skills and all of that. So
bendable plywood?
Yeah. You can get column or barrel roll. So we need the barrel roll. You've not heard of that?
I like that.
Veneer?
Yeah.
No, it's plywood. It's not veneer.
Laminate it?
So then you put the laminate on top.
You put the
but we need it.
Top.
But we need the No. We're using 3/4. You're confusing me. We need the bendable laminate to make a bend front.
Okay.
Apron. So you just, stack them up or whatever. And then the 3/4 inch on the top. I'll be doing a lot of videos. So if you look up, there's bendable plywood. That's like column, which you do it the long way, the 8 feet way. And then the barrel is this way. And it bends this way. Yeah.
But you're putting veneer on top of that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So it'll be fun. It will be a lot.
You're putting an actual veneer. You're like vacuum sealing it down.
Yes, I'm so nervous.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I've never done that. That's my grandpa's expertise. He's fine furniture. So he's always built something for someone in our family. Everybody kind of has a piece. So this piece is for his brother who has nothing. And this is kind of what they've been wanting for a really long time. And they wanted more fine furniture, but country-ish looking too. Mm-hmm. So I can help put my flair on it, but then do a lot more of the fine furniture. And then I kind of have worked with both the way my clients like it and then like the laminate and all of that. So I've never done that before. So it will be pretty interesting.
I've only ever helped someone do laminate. I've never actually, I don't have I'm not equipped to do laminate inside my shop really.
He built like a huge vacuum, whatever.
Yeah, so the vacuum press with the vacuum bag. Yeah. Well, I mean, you can.
Did any of you guys
do it that way, or you can do it by press? Like you make a press and press it all together.
Yeah. So.
Did any of you guys see Todd Clippinger's post on Instagram about that vacuum press incident that happened at his dovetail shop that he works for? When did he post that? I guess they came. They didn't use, I think he said a balance sheet or something like that. Because when he came back after it had been sitting in the vacuum press and basically released out of the press, it potato chipped. Like both of them potato chipped real bad. Well,
yeah, because what you do to one side, you have to do to the other. Because as that veneer dries, it shrinks a little bit. So it will cause it to pull up on that side. So if you don't laminate the other side, then you're adding. Let me think how to say it. So if you have to do it on both sides, so it dries equally and it will stay flat.
Yeah, I've never heard it referred to as a balance sheet. I've always heard do both sides, but I've never heard balance sheet used before. So that was kind of confused me at first, but it was so bad.
That's why they say you can just get like a cheap veneer, like a maple, something that's not very interesting if you're going to use it just to balance it out on the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you already have it formed or you already have it connected and joined, where it's going to be, and it's kind of locked into that shape, then you don't necessarily need to add that backer piece. So, because your joint's locking it in shape.
Well, it will be a new adventure for me, so I'm sure you guys will see me being maybe frustrated on Instagram.
I've exhausted my knowledge on the topic already, actually.
I know. It's funny because my grandpa thinks that I should know it. Well, he's amazing. He's teaching me so much. That's but awesome. He wants me to know how to do the fine furniture, even though most of my clients don't want that. And then also know how to do everything we've been doing.
I think he wants you to learn this stuff because he wants another door for you to open.
Yes. Yeah. So we'll see how it goes.
It's really cool. I also learned from my grandfather, actually, Sam.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't get to work with him on a daily basis. However, they are moving down here to Georgia soon. My grandparents are, so I'll get to work with him a little bit more. But he's not able to work the way that he used to. So so I'm kind of carrying the torch. But he can do some stuff that I can't do. So I'm eager to be able to just go and talk with him on a more regular basis and do that.
That will be really fun. It's crazy how much he's learned, and it's all from reading. We all have YouTube and everything to learn new stuff, and all of his is off of magazines and reading and when he was younger. It's crazy. So that will be fun. You can ask him questions.
What's this YouTube thing you speak about?
I know, right? And by the way, he was so cute. Saturday or Sunday, he has the articles for you guys he had them out, ready, bookmarked, copied, and he's ready to send them to you. So I have to take pictures of them tomorrow. I was out of the shop on Monday and Tuesday. So.
Did you hear that, Jeremy? She's going to take pictures of them tomorrow.
Oh, you best believe it. I'm going to.
Well, it's not going to happen because we're still waiting on like 4 or 5 things from how many weeks ago that she
no way
on Instagram.
I think she's caught up.
I'm caught up.
The deck?
That was on the same day.
Did we lose Jeremy?
No.
I lost y'all for a second, but I'm back. I don't know what happened there. Maybe my internet took a dive. I don't know. I'm sorry. I think I'm...
Okay, cool. You said you were going to post the deck on his Instagram.
Yes.
You said you were
I can't manage this many Instagrams.
You said you were going to post like some coffee tables or something on his Instagram?
Eventually, they're coming on the Instagram. They don't come
there's the keyword, eventually.
Right away.
Right
away. All right, you know what? We're going to bypass this. Jeremy, what are you doing in your shop? Because they keep calling me out for not doing stuff. So let's skip on over that.
That's because what you do makes us look bad. Because you're so busy.
No way.
You're pretty prolific, Sam. I'll give you that. You make a lot of stuff, so that's good.
Thank you. But what are you working on in the shop?
Personally, right now, I'm about to deliver a table on Saturday that I've been working on. That's pretty much finished except for layers of polyurethane. I've got a couple of new projects coming up. I'm working on a shuffleboard table, which I've never done before.
That's cool.
I don't even know how to play shuffleboard, so I got a lot of research to do because that's going to be done by Christmas. And then I also have a couple of coffee tables coming up and a barn door project. So I'm pretty loaded up for the holidays right now. So
nice. What table are you delivering?
It's I've put pictures of it in progress on my.
Is it this massive, amazing one?
Yep, that's it.
Seriously, I'm in so love with your tables. Like every table you make, everything you make, I'm in love with.
Thanks. No, that is the one you just showed. Yeah, that's it. It's the one with the 6x6 posts, in between the base and the plinth, and it's got shoulder cuts on it. I like that table. It was neat. Some people have said, "Oh man, that's way too chunky. That's too thick," and I'm like, "There's no such thing." It's like it's I like it. And then that one's fun. That was made of Western red cedar, which is what I make a lot of stuff out of. So
I love it. Does this bench go with it?
It does. That's the bench that goes with it. Yep.
I love it.
It has the same quarter ellipse shoulder cuts on the base that the table does, just in a smaller scale. So it looks, and it goes nice between the pedestals of the table. It looks good when it's all together. So
yeah,
I think it does. I'm biased, but
No, I think it looks great. And I see that this is that color that you sent me that you posted.
Yeah, that's it.
My favorite. If you guys don't follow him, you definitely need to go check him out because his tables and his finish, everything is awesome. So you definitely need to go check him out.
Thanks. Finish is my favorite part. I love finishes. I love experimenting with different finishes and making things look the way they do. That one in particular, I was really happy with. It had a real marbled kind of look to it at the end, and I was really happy about that. So
yeah, it's really pretty.
Thank you.
I tried that stain, by the way. And
did you?
It was awesome.
Good.
It was awesome. So
yeah. I'm glad
I want to build something for myself and use that stain.
Good. I'm glad. So that's what I got going on anyway. So
nice.
All right. Well, so I'm actually out of town right now. And just before, the night before I left, I wrapped up my build for the Woodworkers Fighting Cancer 2017 build, which was a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle sign that was like a epoxy resin in. It was like a giant vinyl sticker. It's probably like almost 3 feet long that my brother got my son probably 5 years ago. Let's see, it's probably about 5 years ago because he had a Ninja Turtle room, and he had like this sticker, this like decal custom made or whatever, and we were renting at the time, so I didn't want to stick it up on the wall. And, it's one of those things you're like, all right, well, I'm going to put on a piece of plywood I'll put up on the wall. And it just kept getting put on the back burner because we've moved twice. We've moved twice since then. And so it's just like every time like I go to do it, we're like already trying to pack things up and get ready to move. So this was like the perfect opportunity to do it. And it kind of evolved over like the last year. Like I really knew I wanted to kind of build a frame for it and put it on some epoxy to keep it protected more for the long term. So I finally got around to doing that and getting it up, and now it's up in the kids' room, and my son absolutely loves it. And in fact, back in July, my brother was in town, and he saw this on. He was like, "Hey, I'm just going to take that back since you're never going to use it." So the first thing my son said when he saw that, he goes, "Nanny, nanny, boo, boo, Uncle Shonky. My dad did do it, and it looks awesome." So that was to see him that excited was pretty awesome. I mean that, before that I finished up the cutting boards a couple of days before that. The 3 of the cutting boards that I made were I've had the wood I don't know, for quite a long time, probably a couple of years, and it was so dried out that like it just kept sucking up the finish. I used so much mineral oil just trying to get it to finish collecting it all and stop sucking it in. So that took me probably 4 or 5 days of just adding mineral oil for it to finally stop just like drinking it up. So I understand now, like when people take their cutting boards and they set them in a giant tub of mineral oil for like a day just to like let them soak up. So it's been a busy time in the shop, and I got so much more to do between now and Christmas. I got a lot of deadlines. I got some deadlines for some things by like December 19th. I got some deadlines for like 4 jewelry boxes by December 10th. So it's busy, and it's kind of nice to get back some normalcy in the shop. It's really still kind of not normal around the house. I've not really talked about it much. Sam and Drew know. And I guess I kind of feel like more in a place now to start sharing it. That time that I took off back in August, there at the end when all the stuff was going on, I was back in Texas. Actually, my father-in-law and my grandfather passed away within 24 hours of each other. So it's been rough the last couple months, and I'm trying to get back to normalcy. And my wife losing her father, it's been real hard for her. So just being able to get back out in the shop and have like all these projects stacking up, just like ready to work on, has been more therapeutic for me, because that's when I get out and I'm just like in my element. I don't feel like I have to think about everything else. So it's been good to be busy. But these 2 weeks being out of town are killing me, because I have like no shop and I have like all these things to do. So it's definitely good to get on the podcast, because at least I can talk woodworking when I can't actually do it. I mean,
I know it's hard being out of the shop.
Some people call that like armchair woodworking or something. I don't know.
It's been said.
Or throw it in the dumpster, woodworking. The recycle bin.
Recycle bin. Get it right.
That's awesome.
And here's the thing is, Sam's never seen a picture of that.
No.
You know what? I don't even know if I don't even know.
No, yes I did.
Don't have it.
Yes, I did. The first time I was on, I saw a picture. You showed it to me on the screen like this.
Of the sofa table?
Yeah, before I was hired, when I was a guest host.
Not when
she was hired.
Right? It was still in raw wood state, right?
No, you showed her a picture of the dumpster. I saw it
like right next to the dumpster.
Yeah, I showed you a picture of the dumpster, not a picture of the
table.
Table. Well, I don't even know if I have a picture. I'll see. I'll go back and see if I have a picture, and I'll show you.
Well, it's obvious that it's not really worth your time, because you threw it away anyway.
Well, you know what? That's like,
for Jeremy, who doesn't know, he made this table and he kept it in his like shop for like forever, and then he hated it so much he couldn't look at it. He threw it in the recycle bin behind his work.
Hmm.
So
That's
that's what
not
we're
And then
talking.
took a picture of it,
exactly how-
posted it on
that's
Instagram.
That's not exactly how it went.
Did
Okay.
someone recover it? Did someone reclaim it from
I
there?
have no idea. So this
Reclaim
is.
it.
So that's,
Okay.
that's the only picture I have of it. So it started
I
out.
like the tapered
as
legs on it. That's cool.
It started out as a client build, and after I already got started, the client backed out, and so it kind of set in my shop because I mean, there was no reason to finish it. I had other things to move on to, other clients, and finally I was like, all right, well, I'll build this. I'll kind of simplify it and build it and just give it away. And so I simplified it. I cut out the shelf. I cut out the drawer. And then I finished it. I didn't really like how the finish was happening. So I changed up the finish a little bit. And by the time I got done finishing it, it was just like I was so done of looking at it, so done of working at it. The finish it just turned out horrible that there was no way. I wasn't taking a picture. I wasn't showing anybody. I just threw it in the trash. I said, move on. Scrap again. We'll try another one some other time.
Okay. Well, I mean, I've been there. I've tossed out a project before, that's for sure. So,
Mm-hmm.
But
or else dismantled it and used it for other parts if it was possible. You know, I mean, I've definitely done that. So
I just originally I was gonna stain it, and so I stained it. I didn't really like how the stain came out, so I painted it, and I was gonna do like a layered paint, and it just for some reason did not come out. It kind of like the second layer of paint kind of shrank on it and kind of looked all real crackly, and didn't look good at all. And so at that point, I was like, I'm not gonna try to like sand it, scrape it, nothing like it. It's just put it in the trash. Let's move on. Got other things to do.
all right.
So, all right. Well, we'll get into a couple voicemails that we have. One of them we got a picture here, and it's going to be from. We'll start off with Rustin. I have no idea how you say his last name. Coziahr.
I'm gonna say Coziahr.
I think he says it in the voicemail. Let's check it out. Let's hear it.
Hey guys and gal, this is Rustin Coziahr calling from Silver Spring, Maryland. I've been working my way through the episodes, and I just got to episode number 99, and I heard Drew begging and pleading for voicemails, so I was like, I gotta hook this guy up. So I decided to call, and I have a question. I recently had a tree removed in my backyard, and I had him leave it about 42 inches high, and I want to put a tabletop on there to have a kind of a backyard cocktail table. And I'm going to laminate cedar together and use a circle jig and a router to make the top. But I was wondering how I should attach the top to the base. Any help would be appreciated. Enjoy the podcast. Keep up the good work, and I hope to hear from you soon. Bye.
All right.
I
so
love the voicemails.
I do too.
I should have put that on our Instagram instead of taking a picture. That would have been cool.
So that's like the voice memo, and that's why I like the voice memo so much better because they come out so clear. So
cool.
The picture that he sent in is there in the show notes, and so it looks like he's got some other trees in his backyard, and he's got a stump left, maybe 3 or 4 feet in there.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't say how high it was, did he?
No, he said
42 inches.
42 inches.
Which is perfect because that's actually standard pub table height. That's standard bar height. Yeah, so that's actually he's in it. I mean, I don't know what size of table he's going to put on there, but it's probably not going to be more than 1.5 inches thick. So I mean, that's actually going to be a nice height for people to stand around or do something if he puts a tabletop on that.
Yeah, that would be really nice and look really cool. And
it would be cool, real natural.
Be a discussion piece. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely kind of statement piece. It would definitely be a natural gathering point for people to go stand around. I mean,
yeah,
tables are like that. You know, there was actually I read this study. I didn't read the entire study. I'm not that smart. There was a study though about the space station, believe it or not, and they had made it super modern and ultra sleek, and even though it didn't make sense for the astronauts to actually have a table in space because of the way gravity works, like it's better to strap things in and stand there, they needed a gathering spot, and it made them feel, more at home and more comfortable to have a tabletop. And so the only normal piece of furniture in the space station is a tabletop, is a table that they can gather around, even though they have to work extra hard to use it. And I think that's actually pretty cool because it's a natural gathering point for people to get to. That's why tables are awesome. I mean, this is what happens. So.
I know, I love it. And it's always fun making tables for families that say they want it like perfect, and because they want to have it for years and years and years and to always gather around it. So it's really cool. Tables are super fun.
They are. They're just a natural spot for people to come together. And so I think it's really cool to kind of, I don't know if repurpose is the right word, but, take a stump that's going to be left at that height and put something on it. That's actually pretty cool. I think that would be a place where, if you have kids, I know that my kids would love to hang out at something like that, out in the back, just because it was outside, I mean, it's like camping, every time. So that's pretty cool.
That is cool. How would you attach it?
To a stump, because honestly, since it's going to be outdoor anyway, I would probably just put a lag bolt or some sort of spack screw right through the middle and, recess it. And if I needed to recess it far enough and put some sort of plug in it to make it look better, I would. But I'd make it accessible because it's going to get weathered, and you may have to do some repair work to it, and it'd probably be easier to take it off in the future. So, be able to take it off and work on it, whatever you need to do. But I think it would be, I don't know. That's what I would do. I wouldn't make it super, because it's a tree stump. So, I mean, it's and that's cool. But I wouldn't make it ultra difficult for sure.
No, we use a lot of lag.
I've seen people, and it's funny too because Jeremy just ended with "Don't make it difficult," but I've seen people recess just a small, maybe 1/4 inch deep circle in the middle on the underneath side, so it has a way to register on the tree stump. And there's also a dowel pin that's going through the stump that registers in the center of the table, just a hole in the center of the table, so it's easy to take off. Whenever bad weather's coming, you don't want it to get nasty and rained on or hailed on. Right. It's easy to take on and off, but it will always register. But you can secure it with just a couple lag bolts as well, just to make sure it doesn't twist and turn while it's just sitting there.
Exactly. Cool. And I think that would actually, I don't know, for any kind of outdoor furniture, I think you can overthink it. I mean, I think it's outdoor and it needs to be simplified. I mean, that's why you went outside anyway, is to get away from the more complex trappings of being indoors. I mean, that's kind of, and I feel like it's something that you can go do and have fun at, and it doesn't need to be overly complex. So I think that, that would be great.
Yeah, that's funny that you're saying that, Drew, because that's exactly what I was just thinking about. Some way to register it and pick it up and move it. But also, let me play the devil's advocate a little bit here. If you do make it to where you're like, oh, hey, I won't leave it out all the time, I'll just go put it out when we want to use it, you will use it less if you have to move it and put it out every single time. It's kind of like outdoor furniture when people are like, oh, I'm going to put my cushions in like a deck box. Well, you will go sit on those cushions and those chairs less if you have to do more work to use it every single time.
100%. Yeah, I would throw a tarp over it if the weather was coming. I wouldn't pick it off.
Me too.
I'll call it practical, but lazy is probably the better word. So
I was gonna say the lazy man way.
Yeah.
That's the way I would do it. Throw a tarp over it. Yeah. Keep them safe.
It's outside, so.
Yeah.
So here's another little addendum to this, because he's wanting to know how to attach it. What if the stump itself isn't exactly level? I mean, you could always, and like I said, overcomplicate. You could always set up a way, kind of like they joint slabs with a router. You can just set yourself up a jig outside that's level, all four ways, and then run your router across it to make it level. Or if you are really steady with a chainsaw, I guess you can.
But say, if you can come up with a way to cut it flat levelly, on your own, that's probably going to be the easiest way. Making some sort of jig to level it with a router would be it would be ideal. But, if he's comfortable doing that or has the equipment to do that, then why not? It would be a neat project too, But I mean, I'm not above shimming something up on one side and bolting it. Either. I mean, like you your shims and put it where it needs to be until it's level. And I mean, if someone's crawling up under the table and judging you for that, then they can leave the party, man. I mean, that's
well, and another thing too is that the stump is going to be really, really wet. So even if you do get it level, it's probably going to be out of level before you know it. So shimming is probably one of the easiest ways to get around that.
Exactly.
It's going to last. It's going to last longer than a normal stump being at 42 inches high, but I mean, it's a dead tree at this point. It's going to start decomposing, and it's going to take it years to do it, but it's not going to stay.
Yeah.
It's not going to hang out there forever. So, I mean, it's going to start moving on you eventually. So, within 2 years, it's going to sink. Yeah.
Trying to make it easy and like get it out there as soon as possible. Just doing it the easiest, quickest way. That would also be a good way to do it. I think is the best.
I agree.
So you could just get using it.
One thing I would do, and I can't really tell, maybe it looks like it in the picture. It looks like they've sealed off the end grain because it kind of looks black. But if you haven't, definitely seal it off some way. You can get something like Anchor Seal, which seals off that wood, and it kind of will help that decomposing process. It won't dry out near as fast, so that it won't check down the middle. Or even get just like some latex paint if you don't want to drop the cost on Anchor Seal. Even just putting some paint or some wax over the end will kind of help stabilize it. Just it's not a permanent solution. It will still lose moisture content. It will still decompose, but just not as fast as it would if that end grain was exposed.
Would you guys keep the bark or take the bark off?
Keep the bark.
Keep the bark. I'm with Sam on that one.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
Jeremy's like, wood could be pretty.
Yeah, it could be.
It might be. I mean, debarking it could be, denuding it rather, could be challenging, but it could look really pretty. But I'd keep the bark as long as I could. I mean, I too. It was there in the first place. It's there to look. I mean, that's subjective. I mean, if they want to, go for it. That's cool.
Yeah. I like the natural look of that. I mean, I've taking the bark off also looks natural, but I think it would look really cool to leave the bark on and be like, it's a tree stump that just came from my backyard and I put a tabletop on it.
Yeah. So. And over time, that bark, as the tree dries, the bark will start falling off on its own.
Mm-hmm.
So you could kind of leave the bark on now, and then the natural progression of that stump as that bark falls off, it's just like a memory and a talking point, and you say, oh, hey, I had this tree cut down, or you can cut it off like Drew said, just cut it completely off, take it in your house and use it as a bar stool.
If you seal it up on both sides like that, it's gonna last. Yeah, because once it's off the wet ground and it's not soaking up moisture anymore, it'll last for a long time. I mean, so it's that could work too. So
nice.
Probably not near as cool, but
no, it'd be neat, but it'd be hard finding a matching one.
Yeah.
So you're gonna
I'm gonna have to go cut down another tree.
That's right. Yeah, you're gonna have to find another stool. Yeah.
Hey, honey, that tree that's sitting right there behind it that's still alive? Yeah, we're gonna cut that one down too.
We need another stool. Yeah.
That's so funny. You're not going to be able to find a mat.
I'm just thinking of the way my wife would think. She's like, well, there's only one. I'll be like, honey, we just made it. It's like, of course there's only one. But, yeah. So.
All right, well, let's get into our second voicemail here from Justin.
Hello, Jeremy, Drew, and Sam. This is Justin from Rustic Grain Designs in sunny Tampa, Florida. Thank you guys for creating such an awesome podcast with great content each week. I can say that I'm officially caught up on every episode posted on iTunes. My question is for all three of you. I'm currently in the market for a joiner for the new shop we are building in our barn. On the last episode, you guys briefly talked about spiral head cuts and standard knives. Can you go a little bit more in depth on which cutter each of you have? And is it worth the $400 upgrade on the Grizzly unit I'm currently looking to buy? Thanks again, and I look forward to your answer. And hopefully this voicemail gets you up to 10 this week.
Did it?
Short answer, yes. Spend the $400 and get it. Because if you buy it after the fact, it's going to be like $700 to $800.
I was about to say, yeah, get it with it. I mean, I know y'all. He asked y'all first, but if you can get it with it from the beginning, go that route because it's going to be more expensive to upgrade.
Yes, absolutely. Because I don't know of any other company that sells them aftermarket besides Sheelix.
No, I can't think of one either. I mean, I have a planer. I have a rigid planer that's not capable of upgrading. It's just got 3 knives, and I've got a DeWalt planer that is capable of upgrading, and it is not upgraded because it's cost prohibitive. I can tell you that. So,
Yep. Yeah. Do you have the DeWalt Drew? What's your model number on yours? The 735?
Yep.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to get
It's like that big square.
Yeah, it's
got on
Felix
is like $750.
Yes,
That's what we have. We have 2 planers.
It's about $800 to upgrade it. Is what the best I've come up with, and it's just not. I mean, there's other ways to avoid snipe, and I love helical head. I think that's awesome, but I'm just not willing to spend that much money on it. I'll just make the board longer and cut the ends off before I spend that much money.
So I have spiral cutter head in mine.
Okay.
I have a Steel City Toolworks Deluxe planer, which I happened to buy, and then a month later they went out of business. Awesome.
But they got bought up by somebody. You can still get a Steel City. It's a good planer.
Yeah, Q-Tech Tools, I think.
Yes.
Bought them out.
Yep.
Didn't buy them out. They took over their designs. They bought their designs.
Right. Q-Tech's supposed to be really good. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and they didn't start manufacturing the models right away. I think it was 6 months or a year after Steel City went out of business. But it's an awesome planer, and I paid from the get-go to get the helical head in it. It does not prevent snipe. It just makes a smoother cut along the surface of the wood. I still have to take all the necessary precautions to eliminate or reduce the snipe I get. So.
Yeah, and that's one thing too that Todd was pointing out about his jet that he has, and it has a Sheelix helical head in it, and he said that he used to have to run through. If he'd run them through the planer on straight knives, then he'd have to run them through the drum sander just to clean up the mess that the planer left. And after he got the helical head, it basically eliminated the need to run them through the drum sander.
Yeah, if I remember right, when he was on our show, didn't he say he was going through like straight knives like once a week or something?
Oh yeah,
it was something crazy. He was having them sharpened like once a week or something.
Really? I mean, is he working exclusively with very hard woods, or?
Well, I mean, he's a small business pro level shop, so
okay.
The amount of board feet he's putting through it each week is probably a lot more than a hobbyist or a small business
sure.
Running 15 or 20 board feet a week. He's probably running several hundred board feet a week.
Fair enough. Yeah.
So, but I don't have a joiner. I will hopefully be getting a joiner soon, and I will buy it with the spiral cutter head already in it.
Mm-hmm. So. We have that in, but we want to upgrade to the helico head. Yeah, that's what it's called, right? Because we have a big chip in our blade, so every time I run it over, I have to make sure that chip isn't anywhere, and I haven't had a chance.
Can you move your blades laterally? I know that.
So I can move the fence, but no, we can't move the blades because we can move the fence. And so if I have to do a big piece, it sucks because it's going to be in there.
Yeah.
But
he means the blades individually. Are you able to offset the blade?
No.
To where that groove that it's making can be eliminated by offsetting it.
Right. Because I can do that on one of mine. I can move the blade over if it gets a chip. If I catch a knot or a staple or something that I wasn't careful about, if I chip a blade, I can move my knives laterally on a little bit. Not on my planer, not on my joiner. My joiner, I have an old Craftsman 60s model joiner. It's a 6-inch floor joiner. So
how would you do that? Just move them?
Yeah, there's slots. You can just kind of move it over.
I wonder if we don't have a spiral. Because I wonder if we would have already moved it. I'm going to look at that tomorrow because I really want to buy that's my top thing on the list is a new,
besides the fact
but if I can move it.
Besides the fact of it just having the better cut quality, it reduces the decimal put out of the machine.
Yeah.
Pretty significant.
Sure.
So the machine's not near as loud when you run it, and
right.
the wood goes across it. So that's another benefit to it.
Sure.
But the fact that you wouldn't have to sharpen knives, you can just untwist the Allen key, rotate it. You can rotate it 4 times.
I know, that's so cool.
That's
I mean, that's what I'm saying. If you can get it with it early on, absolutely. If that's in the budget, do it. I mean, if not, then you're gonna do more maintenance. But
yeah, for sure, definitely.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I cannot wait to get it because I don't know if everybody knows this, but I work in I'm sure all of our normal listeners know, I work in my grandpa's shop. It was already set up when I got there. So I haven't really had to do much maintenance on stuff. And I like to learn how everything is set up and how things get put together. So I'm really excited to take it apart and change the blade because I've not done that. So I'm pretty pumped. So hopefully after we need a big chunk of time where we don't have any projects because we use it all the time. So
yeah, that's called January to February for me. Yeah. That's when I'll be doing some upgrades and cleanup and stuff. Is when this first couple months of the year are slow for me for whatever reason. So
I know I was thinking of taking a month off, but I don't know. We'll see.
That's dangerous. As backed up as you are.
I know. Maybe 2 weeks. 2 weeks off. We'll see.
Well, maybe try to do.
All right.
Set yourself up for a week a month. Be hey, this week. Each month is solely dedicated to shop upgrades and the shop clean, and that way.
Oh, seriously, people get after me all the time on Instagram that I don't do any woodworking in my shop, and I'm let me tell you who I share my shop with. My grandpa. He likes it really clean. We don't have sawdust everywhere. He gets really upset. Not upset, but he wants me to clean up after myself. So, when it's a mess.
Playing in the sawdust?
Yes, as I do. But that's why it never looks like we're doing any work because I clean up and vacuum after every little cut. So, just let y'all know I'm really doing woodworking. But it just doesn't look like it maybe. Other than when I'm playing in the sawdust. So.
Well,
maybe
we want to thank Justin and Rustin both for sending us those voicemails. That's awesome that you guys took the time to send us that. And I hope the suggestions that we gave you guys can help out. We do want to go into a little kickback here. We received an email actually was sent to me, but it was about the podcast. So I went ahead and forwarded it on to the group here, but it came from Joe Sprague. I hope I said that name right. I said, Drew, just wanted to offer a thanks to all the tips and knowledge you and Jeremy have provided over the last few years. I'm just beginning my woodworking journey and trying to learn as much as I can. I stumbled upon your podcast and have been listening to each episode, and it's been inspirational and informative. Still got a ways to go. I think I'm around February 2016 episodes. However, all the advice and tools you guys have suggested are still helping today. So just wanted to offer some words of encouragement and say thanks. Something you two started almost 3 years ago is still helping and being applied today. Joe. So that's pretty cool.
First of all, Sam, say hi because he doesn't know you're here.
Hey,
yet.
Joe. Yeah. Soon you will know I'm here.
Yes. Soon. Right now, you're floating on Sam Raimondi episodes, I believe. So.
Well, you're going to get close to me, though.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I don't know. Well, I don't know when you came on. It's.
I think we lost Sam for a good, what?
No, it was cold.
months?
I was wearing a sweater. I remember.
We lost Sam in August of 2000.
This is what I was wearing, so yeah.
But are we really about to start our 4th year?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's insane. Especially, have you seen this week? So many people, like podcasts, have started dropping people. Like, the Crafted podcast just lost Johnny Brook, so they rebranded and are adding somebody. Brian McCauley, from what I heard today, is leaving the Dusty Life. So, and then the Woodworking podcast went by the wayside a while back, but it feels like 4 years and we've had a lot of changes, but we're staying strong. So
nice.
Yeah, we're still going. Going.
Congratulations, y'all. That's awesome.
I know, that is awesome.
And we're doing
I just
so well
hitched a
that we
ride
have
at the
guests
end.
just like you, Jeremy.
Thanks.
yeah, this podcast pays so well that we're able to pay all of our guests in well wishes and thank yous.
Hey, that's all right. That's a good payment for me. I appreciate it. So
It doesn't pay the bills, but it helps your pride a little bit, I guess.
it does. It feels good, and sometimes that's worth a lot. So thank you. So
Yeah. Perfect.
So, all right, well, let's get into some product recommendations. Jeremy, you want to go first? Give us a product or service you want to recommend?
to me for a product or service I want to recommend for. Help me out here for
It could be
Woodworking, anything. But it
anything
doesn't need to be
Woodworking business.
woodworking related.
Yeah, anything that you think would benefit our listeners.
Okay. Well, I'll talk about some things that I'm recently doing myself. I am revamping my website. I had a website before and it wasn't very good. Right now, my web page redirects to my Facebook page, but I recently purchased Squarespace and it's been really nice to use to build a website around. I'm able to, I've been writing a blog, which I haven't published yet, but I'm going to, and I've also been able to work with that pretty well. So I can recommend Squarespace for a website if you're looking to do that, because that's what I'm working on now. Other than that, I'm trying to think a different product. I recently bought some new shop lights, and they're good. I work on sites a whole lot, like building decks. I do that when I'm not in my wood shop. I have a deck building business, and so I use the Ryobi work lights that are better. They're fantastic. They're so bright, and they really work well, especially with daylight savings time and they're getting dark earlier. I'm trying to think of anything else that I'm using currently that I can. I don't like to just say things that I'm not actually using. I want to actually talk about stuff that I have some firsthand knowledge of. I don't know. A lot of people, like I was, before the show, I was looking at my messages, and I have a lot of messages, what Sam was talking about earlier, asking me about finishes. I'm in no way, shape, or form sponsored by them, but I use Rust-Oleum finishes or stains and stuff for almost everything because I like the product so much better than others than Minwax or anything like that. I've used some of those, but I just really do like their like the way that they go on and can actually be taken off. I mean, a lot of finish work is about how much you take off. It's less about how much you put on, and so they're workable. So I really like Rust-Oleum products, especially their stains. I don't know if that's the kind of answer you were looking for, but I'm hoping it is.
Yes, that's perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Sam, what about you?
I am going to suggest the 1, 2, 3 block. It's great. When measuring, you can get them on Amazon. I think it's like 2 for $12. The thickness is 1 inch, and then like the vertical or horizontal is 2 inches, and then either the opposite is 3 inches. So it's actually really cool. So when you are spacing stuff out, it's really easy. You just throw it up. One measures 1 inch, one measures 2 inch, and one measures 3 inches. So I'll put it on our Instagram page tomorrow in our stories. Yes, I will, because I'll be using it to make my carcass of my console. So I will be putting it on.
You said that console is going to be 8 feet long, 96 inches.
Yes, it's going to be crazy. And
wow.
48 inches tall, about 48 without the top. So the top is about 1 inch, so 49 inches tall.
That's like a cord of firewood.
Sam, is this the thing here that looks like Swiss cheese?
Yeah, that's it. That is it. Wow. It's really cool. The thickness is 1 inch, and then the maybe this way width is 2 inch, and then the length is 3 inches. It's actually really cool and very convenient. So
well, I mean, it says here, so it is within plus or minus point. I have no idea. What is 0.0002 million?
That's 10,000th of an inch.
10,000ths.
Yeah, it's like dead on with our ruler. So
that's nuts.
Works
square
really
within 3,000. Wait, that's
what's it made from?
0.0003 is thousandths.
10,000.
I don't know what it's made of.
There's tenths, hundredths, thousandths, and 10,000ths.
Okay, so 10,000.
So when you're at that 3, you're at 10,000. So I mean that's on there. That is a super narrow tolerance margin there. I mean that's big time. So
so they got
what is
the these, Sam? That's actually pretty cool. So they have this one that's a 1, 2, 3 block.
And yeah, I've not used that one.
Then they
the
have
Swiss cheese one.
Then they have a 2, 3, 4 block.
Yeah.
That's 2 inches by 3 inches by 4 inches.
I'm not sure where my grandpa got it, but
is it machined steel?
Or
I think so, yeah.
Or maybe billeted aluminum or something. Yeah, I don't know.
I'll ask him and then let you guys know. But I'll put it on the Instagram tomorrow because we'll be using it a lot.
I'd be afraid of it being something soft. If you dropped it on a hard floor, it could screw up the...
No, it's like really hard. Like I could like knock someone out with it probably.
It's case hardened steel.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Hard.
So
I could take a beating.
Yeah. And here, let's tie this all back to previous episodes. It is actually sold on Amazon by Taylor Toolworks. Taylor Toolworks is who we featured on as their eBay store for blemished squares. So they are out and about everywhere. So go check out Taylor Toolworks.
Nice.
All right, Drew, what about you? What's something you want to recommend?
I actually brought mine with me. I just recently got these in the mail. I ordered these from Amazon because they were just kind of a smoking hot deal. They were $21 for a 12-inch Bessie Uniclamp, and that's what I got here. So the actual jaw opening is probably about 2.5 to 3 inches deep. It's not as big as a normal K-body. But this is perfect for smaller projects such as like drawers and even small cutting boards or coasters or whatever else that you're gluing up. So I purchased about 6 of these, and for $21 a piece, you just can't beat that.
How far do they extend out?
Well, this is a 12.
12.
So you can buy them longer than this. You can buy a 6-inch as well. This one's a 12. I think they sell 24s as well.
Cool.
I'm going to look that up.
I can't do it. My OCD will not allow me to buy a different color clamp.
Oh, wow.
Drew, you know this. I can't do it.
I know. Can't even buy tools that don't match.
I know.
Oh, that's hard.
Yeah, see?
It's commitment. I appreciate that. That's nice.
Yeah. It would be nice if they all matched on the wall.
It would be nice if they were. It would be nice if they were all green and black, and I had a pocketbook that could afford to do that.
I know.
Right.
So.
Seriously.
Yeah, literally.
Here I have a question for you guys, real quick. I was gonna put it on my Instagram tomorrow. So a lot of people were telling me I need to be in the market for a track saw, which our circular saw works perfectly fine, so we don't really need one. But we have the track that Woodbrew Dylan just was talking about on his Instagram yesterday, but the version before it, and it doesn't come apart really easily. So we were going to buy another one or get the Craig AccuCut. Has anyone ever used the AccuCut?
I have an AccuCut. And,
do you like it?
I do. It's not difficult to use. I'm sure that it's not as rigorously accurate as, let's say, a Festool or the Makita system. I'm looking into the Makita one, but for the most part, I do most of my circular saw cutting with a bar clamp and take my time. Yeah, I don't. The AccuCut is relatively new for me, but I think it does a good job. But I'm not. I don't want to posture here. I don't do such fine woodwork that I need
a perfect.
You got it. Yeah. So like I said, I don't want to like posture and act like that. Oh yeah, but I did get an AccuCut because I think it'll be a cool thing. And the few times that I've used it, it has performed the way I would hope it would perform. So
that's awesome. Well, maybe I'll look into that too, because we had two on our list because I went to price out the Festool and it was like $750 plus the $150 for the track.
Yeah, the Makita was the one I was looking at, and it was like $500 for that. So
you see, that's half the price. I need to look into it a little more before I pull the trigger on anything.
Right.
Perfect. Thanks, guys, for answering my question. So did everyone do their Jeremy, you didn't do yours.
So mine's gonna tie into the finish that Ninja Turtle sign. I'm actually recommending art resin. I think I recommended this another time, probably way back, maybe when we started doing product recommendations. But I got their 1 gallon kit to pour, and actually I have a lot left over because I got several more things that I'm gonna use epoxy on in probably the next several weeks. But it's so easy to mix. It's a 50-50 mix ratio, and I literally go to Walmart because Walmart actually has these cheaper than anywhere else I've seen. I get the plastic measuring, like the paint measuring cups. They're like 90 cents at Walmart. So I go get a bunch of those and I mix my 50-50 mix. And art resin on their website will actually tell you, you put in your measurement, your length and your width, and it will tell you how much resin you need to make a 1/8 inch pour.
Oh wow!
And that's what they recommend. Cool. So like I knew when I did this sign, I don't remember, it was like 12 by 29 inches, I think. I typed that in and it said that I needed 12 ounces. So I needed 6 ounces of resin, 6 ounces of hardener, stir for 3 minutes, and then you pour it. And it pours. It is kind of thick pouring on. So you kind of have to push it around with like a spreader or something to get it to even out where you want it. But then it self levels pretty well. So you got to make sure your workpiece is pretty level because it will all flow to that lowest part. And if you heat it up with like a torch or something like that, it will make it a little bit more runny, so it will flow out a little better. But it comes out super clear and super hard after about 24 hours.
Wow.
Nice.
I've used it on several things before, but I highly recommend it. In fact, I've used it on like in place of glue. Like I would use it where somebody would use like West Systems epoxy. I've used it to glue pieces together before, and it's holding up strong. In fact, if you go back and look in, I think my Instagram, I don't know, a while back, I had to repair my son's door because it, like that particle board or fiber board, it stripped off the hinges. I actually filled all the holes with art resin, and it hardened up just fine. Put the screws right back in that hole, threaded it into like the art resin, and it's still hanging up on the door jamb just fine. Hang on, let me knock on wood so I don't get home in a week and that door be hanging off the jamb.
Knock on resin. Right.
Yeah, there we go.
There you
So
go.
it's I've used it for a variety of things. I highly recommend it. It's affordable, and it's a product that truly performs like they say it is. And it's low VOC, so I poured it in my house, and it didn't bug anybody because there was no awkward smell from it. So
Cool.
Very cool. Nice.
Okay.
I want to use that, but I haven't played with it yet. So I definitely will have to. But we would love to remind you, if you listen to the show on iTunes, to please give us a 5-star rating. It helps us reach greater audience. So we have a comment. Heinz is... I'll start by giving you all a hard time. The AB podcast 2 weeks ago would have worked better with ending his story than splitting it. Seems as if my memory has me thinking his story ended pretty quickly in episode B. On to the intro. You guys give Sam such a hard razzling for stumbling on her words, but I do indeed do the same thing. She just does not call you guys out on it. What a good girl. That's right. I am. I'm nice. Nice. Unlike my co-hosts. Now for the good. I am a OTR truck driver and love listening to your show on the road. You have a really good banter back and forth and some good knowledge of woodworking. I'm not much of a maker yet, but have a lot of interest in looking forward to learning through your podcast. Keep up the great work. Looking forward to your next show. Thanks for the comment and taking mine back on my side.
I'm not entirely sure. Was this like a jab at us with like a sugar-coated jab?
Yeah.
I don't know if he said, he's like, y'all are good at talking and have some good advice about woodworking.
I mean, I felt like Sam, you put him up to this, didn't you?
What? No, I didn't. I don't even. No. I think it's good. It's good. It's fine.
I think it was positive. I think it was positive.
Well, of course, because he took your back.
Right.
I would assume positivity on that one.
Me too.
It's kind of like that one that I didn't know if it was a compliment or a jab.
He texted us about it.
I mean, he did leave us 5 stars, so.
Yeah, so I don't think it's, he probably just typed in the wrong words.
I think he meant everything he said. I think he did a nice job. Yeah.
I think it's great.
It was good.
I do appreciate the 5 stars. However, we are only at a 4 point something on iTunes. We're not rated at a 5-star anymore because we've had some people think that we cut off the podcast too soon or whatever, or we talk too much. So go leave us that 5-star rating. Go, please.
And we apologize for cutting off that episode. We won't ever do it again. Unless the flow is going.
How do you talk too much on the podcasts?
I know.
I don't know. Literally one of them, several months back, was they spent the first 17 minutes talking about lizards.
And we were like,
whatever. Sam's scared of lizards.
I'm scared of lizards, but we talked about it for 5 seconds. Not even 17 minutes. And it's a lizard that lives in my shop.
Mm.
So.
Well, let's not talk about it now.
Yeah, let's not go 17 minutes into the lizard. We can close this
Definitely
out.
Not. Definitely not. All right. Well, we have we've enjoyed having Jeremy on. And for those of you that have not been fortunate enough to check out his Instagram or basically anything that has to do with his work, you guys really need to do it. So, Jeremy, how can people get in contact with you? Where do they go to find you?
I am most active on Instagram at Jericho Home, and that's Jericho_home, and that's where I can be. I'm most likely to answer quickly any questions sent to a DM on that. I also have a Facebook page called the same thing, Jericho Home, and I monitor it fairly frequently. And I'm working on a new website and blog, but those aren't up yet, but they will be soon. So
nice.
That's where that is. Thank you for asking.
All right. Well, I know that Sam is running low on battery power, so I'll try and make this quick. If you guys want to get in contact with all three of us individually, you can go to our respective websites, which is samryandesigns.com, countrysideworkshop.com, and rhwoodshop.com. You'll find contact information that you can click on and leave us some kickback questions, comments, concerns, what have you. We also bring those emails to the show as well, so be sure and check the podcast. That way we'll be able to answer your questions from not just one of us, but all three or four of us. You can also leave a voicemail for the podcast itself, which is area code 409-234-3959. Don't forget you can use the voice memo app on your phone and send us an email with that voicemail attached. And you can use the kickback at woodshop101podcast.com to send that to us, or just drop us a line. And we would greatly appreciate anything that you guys have to say about us. Also, don't forget that 5-star rating on iTunes also helps. So basically, that's it. Jeremy, I don't know if you've listened to this show enough or have seen my episodes on YouTube, but we always give a good sign-off with a big boom at the end for all the listeners. So I'm going to key this up, and on the count of 3, we're going to do a big boom. So from Jeremy, Sam, and myself, we want to wish you guys well. Please be safe in your shops, and we will talk to you on the next podcast episode. So 1, 2, 3, boom!